Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. I'm in my strawberry bed because what I'm doing now, most of my strawberries are on the kind of the end of production here. So what I'm doing now is I've taken off all of the bird netting, as you can see, and I've taken off all of the hoops, and I've pulled back my straw. So what I'm doing now is I am just taking out all of these weeds, get those out of this bed. So I have a few, not a ton. The straw helped suppress the weeds to a certain degree. Like, I still have some in here, so I'm just going to remove the weeds. Then what I'm doing is I want to encourage more plants, because this area, as you can see, there's like just this one and it's pretty dried out as far as strawberry plants go. But I probably have a 4-foot section here that has no strawberry plants. So this strawberry plant, the mother strawberry plant, is now sending out these little daughter strawberry plants. So on this vine, this runner that's coming out from the plant, I have 1, 2, another one starting there, and another one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this out and stretch it across the ground, and it's going to take root into the dirt. I have another one here. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm just encouraging as many strawberry plants to get going as I can in this bed. So if I come over here, and I have just a weed there, I've also brought a bowl out to pick whatever strawberry plants that I do have coming in. So I've got a runner here, so I'm going to spread that out. And then I've got another runner right here. This is just a weed, so we'll take that out. I got my weed bucket. Oh, I've got another one. Oh, I've got quite a little. And then I've got a couple of runners coming in over here, so I'm going to spread them out so that they can take root, and I'll get some more strawberry plants coming in here. Come in the fall, I will pull all this straw back up and around my strawberry plants, and then they'll be protected throughout the winter, depending on how harsh of a winter we have. Last year we got hardly any snow, so you just never know from one year to the next what your winters are going to be like. I have a couple of other jobs that I'm going to be doing as well, and I'll bring you along for those. I'm just going to finish guiding and taking out weeds, picking any strawberries that there might be. I'm also pulling out any of these dried up dead leaves off of the plants as well. I just kind of cleaning things up, doing a little general management cleanup, and I wanted to bring you along. So I will finish doing this, and then I will show you what it looks like once I'm done. Okay, here I've done it. I've taken off all the straw, pulled out all the weeds, and I've guided the runners to the center of the bed so that they can reattach, do their thing, and root into that dirt. And then if we come over here, I've done the same to these two beds. This was the first one that I did that I showed you. That's all finished now. And there's number 2. And then I showed you number 3. Another thing that I've taken care of, if you look up here, just gonna take you a little closer. Very little cherries left. I'll get a little closer. These ones, a lot of them are not turning out very good. So we are just going to pick these and put them in the garbage. We actually ended up pruning off some diseased limbs on this tree. They had spots, just like there are spots. I'll show you on these cherries. If you can see that, all the spots. There's some kind of disease that's ended up getting into some of these cherries. So I'm just not picking these. Well, I'm picking them, but I'm throwing them in the garbage. I'm not putting them in my compost because I don't want that disease coming back into my garden beds. So this is what I wanted to have done at this side of the garden. So I've got that accomplished now. And now we'll go on to the next job. Another job I did today is I've been removing this straw. So it was all along here. This was the straw that we removed from around our raspberries. We just hucked it over the fence. And so it's been here for about a month. And I finally started just using my pitchfork and I'm putting it into the wheelbarrow. And I got all of what's on this side. So I still have this pile to do. And then I was taking it to my chickens and letting them rummage through it. So I put it in the chicken coop. I put about 6 wheelbarrows full. And look at those chickens. They're just, those were piles and they've actually flattened that all out. And they're just rummaging through it, looking for any kind of bugs, you name it. Whatever they can find in there, they are gonna look for it. They are just loving this, doing all this searching for bugs. And who knows what else they'll find in there. They love it. Okay, so I'm over on this part of the garden because I was taught when I did my last tour, I was talking about how these spaghetti squashes will get heavy and pull on the vine and they'll end up breaking the vine. So what I have here is just a netted bag. I'm gonna open it up. And it's just a mesh bag. And I'm gonna slip that spaghetti squash into the mesh bag. And I'm just gonna go to the other side and show you what I do. So I'm gonna take my spaghetti squash and I'm gonna slip this bag over it. And good thing I'm doing it now because it's almost too big to get this little tie has to go around this. Okay, so I've got it in the bag now. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to tie this to this panel. And I just have to lift it up a little bit so that I can get it tied. Now, how did I do this before the last time? Because this is not going to tie. Forget how I did this. loop it through here, lift up the bag. I almost need like 2 more pairs of hands. Okay, I'm gonna put this through and have to do another loop on it. I just need to make sure that this is gonna hold that bag. I think so. I'm not feeling very confident about that. I'm gonna get a pair of scissors. Okay, tying up spaghetti squash, take 2. I realized what I had did wrong was I didn't untie the little knot that was in this bag on the bag to tie this up. I didn't untie the knot first. Okay, so let's open this up. I'm gonna slip this around the spaghetti squash. I take my 2 pieces of tie and I have to wrap it around the whole thing. And then, oh, stop. Oh, I just pulled the string right out. Okay, take 3. I hope I have a lot of these. I didn't grow my spaghetti squash up here last year. I ended up growing it. I grew it down on the bottom in my bottom part of the garden. Okay, this is like strategy planning. Holy, I didn't think this was going to be this hard. Like I say, I didn't do this last year. I did it the year before. Okay, I think I finally have it. Oh my gosh, that was like... Okay, now I'm going to tie it to this panel. I'm trying to get some... I gotta get this one leaf out of the way. Okay, and then I want to cinch it up really good to take the weight off of the vine. And then I'll bring the camera in and I'll show you what I've done. I'm tying this in a knot. Okay, I got it. Whew, that was stressful. Okay, we'll come around here. And here's what it looks like. Try to get you in super close. Now, as you can see, it's in this mesh bag, and the mesh bag will expand as the spaghetti squash grows bigger. And then I've tied it super tight to take the stress off of the vine so that it won't tear the vine and pull everything down. And then, as you can see, I'm going to be doing the same for this one when it gets bigger. I don't see any more. Oh, here's one growing right in here. And then what I can do is tie it and hold it up to this panel up here once it gets bigger. So that's what those mesh bags look like. There it is from that side as well. That only took 3 bags. And then I have this one on the ground, that one on the ground, and I have another one right in here. And those I won't need to worry about tying up. They can just lay on the ground. So, awesome. But I have these, this is The first one I wrecked. No, this was the first one I wrecked. That was the second one I wrecked. So I don't think I'm going to be able to use these again because I pulled the string right out of the bags. And this is still a good one. So I have this, it's almost like a doctor bag, but it's my gardening bag. Oh, I must have lost the string for this one too. So there's 3. But I got these bags from Amazon, and it came, how many? 200 of these are in a bag. So I got these from Amazon a couple of years ago. So these are some things that I have in my gardening bag. So I have these bags for my squashes. I have a knife that I use for cutting, if I'm cutting like my kohlrabi, the root off of the kohlrabi, or if I'm cutting any of my other vines. Sometimes I will cut my Chinese gold cabbage. I'll use this to cut that. I have a pair of scissors, and that's what I ended up using to cut that string, because once I had tied it up there, I couldn't get it off. Of course, gardening gloves. Get these at Costco in a big pack. I have tons of different sized clamps, and I've got baby ones too, and that's for my hoops and for my bird netting to fasten that, plus for my mesh netting that I use to put over my brassicas to keep the cabbage moths off of them. I have a shovel, and it also has measurements on here. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4-inch measurements. So if you need to know something that needs to be planted a certain depth, those are good to use. Oh, there's another bag that was wrecked. Probably because I didn't know how to use it then when I used this a couple of years ago. What else do I have? Zap straps. I use a lot of zap straps for my cattle panels and my T-posts. I have another pair of gardening gloves in here. Oh, here is this is my stretchy tie that I use for tying up my tomato plants. I got this on Amazon as well. I got a weed digger in here. What else? Oh, I have a couple of different types of little pruners. I got a stubby nosed ones and then a longer nosed pruners here. On this side, lots of clamps. I have so many different sizes, little ones, big ones, medium sized ones, and I think that is it. Just more clamps, more zap straps. And I usually take this when I'm doing any maintenance on my plants or in the garden. So I took this over to the other side when I was taking all the clamps off of my hoops. And then I store them, everything I try to put back in my bag, so then I'm not looking all over the place for it. I'll go into my garden shed and I'll just grab this bag and carry it around with me. These are no good, so I'll have to throw these ones out. Just have to take my time, be patient. So I just wanted to bring you along to show you some of the things that I have to do, even when I'm not picking vegetables and picking fruit. There's always something that can be done in the garden, and some things get put off. I'm great for procrastinating. My husband and I are perfect examples of procrastinators. And I just want to show you one thing. I planted a new sunflower this year. It's called the Joker. And I'm just gonna sign you off with showing you my Joker sunflower. So thanks for joining me. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to subscribe. I'm always putting out videos. It's summertime. I have the summer off. I'm doing lots of videos when I'm home. I haven't been home, but we're pretty much home now. We're not doing any more week-long trips anywhere. There might be the odd camping trip on the weekends, but that's okay. I can still make lots of videos and have lots of information for you to come out. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now. I would say that's probably about 3 to 4 feet high. So it's not very, doesn't get very tall, but it's definitely a pretty sunflower.